Chelsea have now hit a historic low. 4 consecutive Premier League defeats without finding the back of the net, as Manchester United walk into Stamford Bridge and snatched all 3 points. From a non-existent attack and flight line individual performance to a deepening crisis of Liam Rosenior era, the rot has officially set in. This isn't just a slump, it's a systematic collapse. I'm breaking down the fallout as well as the 5 things we learned from Chelsea nil, Manchester United 1. We have a lot to break down, but before we dive into this video, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. But if you have been following me for a while, you know the jokes. Help your boy get to that 10k subscriber mark. Let's dive into it. I'm sitting here and honestly, I'm fuming. There is no other way to sugarcoat this anymore. Just watch Chelsea lose 1-0 to Manchester United, marking our 4th defeat in the league without finding the back of the net once. It's the same old story at the bridge. We dominate the ball, we created the sequence, but we lack the killer instinct to actually put teams away. I don't think the club is going forward right now. We are stuck in the same loop of aesthetic football with zero substance. But we have a job to do. Let's dive into the first thing we learned from another dark night in West London. 1. Sack this headmaster. I've reached my limit. We have to talk about the man in the dugout, because the numbers aren't just bad, they are historic in the worst way possible. Chelsea have now lost 4 Premier League games in a row without scoring a goal for the first time in over 28 years. Think about that. We are witnessing a level of futility most of us haven't seen in our lifetime. And it's not just a tough run. The data shows a complete systematic collapse across the continent. Chelsea has now lost more games since the start of March than any other side in Europe or 5 leagues. We're officially the most out-of-form team in elite football. And to add insult to injury, we just let a mediocre United side walk into our house and leave with everything. Manchester United do the double over Chelsea for the first time since 2019-2020 campaign. But the most frustrating part isn't even the scoreboard. It's the performative nonsense from Liam Rosenior. He was brought in as the lab professor, the man with the detailed-oriented approach. But at this level, we don't need a headmaster, we need a manager. I'm tired of the intellectualization of failure. We saw it against PSG and we saw it again today. Rosenior standing on the touchline, passing tactical notes to players in the 80th minute, while the game is already dead. It's optic over impact. It's headmaster vibe while the school is literally burning down. He's treating a Premier League titan like a lab experiment, and the results prove he's an EFL manager drowning in a top 5 environment. Listening to his response after the match, it's the same hollow rhetoric every single week. We are making key errors and not taking chances we create. We are delighted we have a game on Tuesday to get it out of our system. Delighted? I'm anything but delighted. We are caving in the moment things go south. Rosenior himself admitted we are a 60-minute team, which is a damning indictment of the physical and mental conditioning he overseen since January. But for a moment, let's look at who is helping him fix this. We have a backroom staff of Cesar Walker, Werner, who are nice guys from Strasbourg, but have zero elite gravity. We have a World Cup winner in this squad, stars like Opama being coached by a staff that have never handled the ego or the pressure of Champions League club. There's no number 2 with the weight to challenge Rosenior in slow ideas. We traded Enzo Moresca for a man who's concerned with looking like a genius and actually winning a match. This project hasn't just stalled, it hit a terminal velocity on the way down. If we want to save what's left of our dignity, we have to sack this headmaster now. Which brings me to the second thing we learned, and that is the failure of the wide option. If you are being honest with ourselves, the attack is broken. We have spent over £1 billion under this ownership, yet we are watching an offensive unit that is one-dimensional, predictable, and quite frankly, useless in the final third. The loss to United didn't just expose our tactics, it exposed the profound inefficiency of our wide players. I look at Pedro Neto, I see a player who has completely stagnated. He was supposed to be our primary creative engine. He hasn't scored a Premier League goal since December 2025. He's a definition of a player who flatters to deceive. When you look at the stat sheet, it looks like he's involved, but he actually never stressed the defense when it mattered. He finished with a 7.0 rating, 2 key passes, 3 accurate crosses, 3 shots, 0 on target, 0 successful dribbles. 0 successful dribbles from a Chelsea winger. This is unacceptable. We are paying for elite output, but we are getting empty calories. Stats looks okay on a spreadsheet, but nothing to change the scorelines. Then we have the Alejandro Garnacho situation, which is becoming a genuine paradox. We brought him in for United for £40 million to be a vertical threat, yet he's playing like a man who has lost all his confidence under Liam Rosenior headmaster system. He only started 4 league games in 2026 because the manager doesn't trust his discipline. Today against his former club, he had a chance to make a statement. Instead, he gave us this. He finished with a 6.9 rating, 3 shots, 0 on target, 64 touches, 3 successful dribbles, 2 key passes, 0 accurate cross. How can you have 60 touches as a winger and not manage a single accurate cross or a shot on target? It's attack killing football. We are watching our wide option be set to low percentage crosses or getting dispossessed the moment the game gets congested. What makes this painful is looking at the global standard. While we are struggling to get 0 shot on target, the rest of the world is moving forward. Seeing Michael Olise and Lamine Yamal redefine what a high volume career looks like. Yamal at 18 is out there averaging 5 successful take-ons a game, acting as a relentless force. Meanwhile, our wingers has become one-dimensional. There is no inventive play, no variety, and no courage to take players in the box. It's why we have gone games without a goal. We have players whose transfer values are doubling. Garnacho is reportedly at £78.5 million now, but their on-the-pitch utility is at all-time low. If this is the elite talent we have assembled, then the sporting department have some explaining to do. We are toothless by design. But moving on to the third thing we learn, and that is the players we are too basic. We can talk about the manager all day, but we have to look at the men on the pitch. Against United, we are bland, we are basic, we are toothless. There's no other way to describe it. We have players who are supposed to be opposition slayers, turning into attack killers in our eyes. The devaluation of Cole Palmer is officially a crisis. This is a player who once carried this club on his back, but under this new tactical shift, he's become a no-show. Rosenior has focused him on build-up and sequencing, that he's pulled away from zones where he actually hurts people. He finished with a 6.8 rating, 1 key passes, 0 accurate crosses, 4 shots, 0 on target, 3 blocked. 0 shot on target for Cole Palmer. That is a startling statistical decline. His dribble success rate is among the lowest in the league for attacking midfielders. We aren't seeing the Cole Palmer who dominates game. We are seeing a player who is stuck in a mental and tactical block, struggling to find his identity in a system that values touches over goal. Then we have the striker situation. With Pedro out, we have to rely on Leon Delap. I want to like Delap. He's a physical enforcer. He wins his duels, but he has shown us his technical ceiling. It's nowhere near the level we need. We finished with a 6.4 rating, 2 shots, 1 hit the woodwork, 1 block, 22 touches. 22 touches in a game where we have total control. It feels like we are playing with 10 men. Mathematically, the lap is unsustainable for a club with ambition. He's in the top percentile for goal conversion and 0 percentile for expected assists. That means he isn't scoring and he isn't helping anyone score either. 1 goal in 23 appearances. It's not just a dry spell, it's a failure of recruitment. We have thrust a mid-table talent into an elite role and it's blowing up in our faces. The most embarrassing part, we lost to a makeshift United centre-back pairing. We had all the ball, all the territory, but our finishing was amateur. 21 shots, 3 shots, 3 hit the woodwork. 21 shots and only 3 on target. This isn't bad luck. This is lack of quality. We are hitting the woodwork and hoping for the best instead of execution. We have become a 60-minute team of basic individuals who don't know how to grab a game by its throat. And it's embarrassing. But moving on to the fourth thing we learned, and that is the midfield authority. If there is one single area of authority on the pitch, it was our central partnership. In a performance defined by offensive futility, Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez were the only one who actually looked like they belong in a Chelsea shirt. Returning to the lineup together for the first time since Enzo's internal suspension, they absolutely ran the show. We had 60% of the possession and it was down to them. We suffocated a Manchester United team that clearly suffered from a lack of legs in the middle of the park. Enzo Fernandez reminded everyone why he's the main architect of this team. Despite the forward failing him at every turn, he was tireless. He was responsible for half of our edge in the first half alone, threading passes between the line that our wingers simply didn't know what to do with. He finished with a 7.6 rating, 5 key passes, 2 accurate crosses, 89% accurate passes, 3 shots, 1 on target. That 7.6 rating is the highest on the pitch for us. It's a tragedy that his vision is being wasted on attack that couldn't finish a sentence, let alone a chance. Then you have the captain, Moises Caicedo, fresh off that contract extension until 2023. He played like a man who understands the weight of the armband. He was back to his reliable self, acting as a captain shield, drawing comparison to Rodri, the way he controlled the tempo and provided physical security. He finished with a 7.0 rating, 93% accurate passes, 2 shots, 3 defensive contributions, 1 tackle, 1 interception, 8 recoveries, 3 ground duel. He nearly saved us a point with that late strike. His timely intervention are the only reason Manchester United didn't hurt us more on the break. The tragedy here is the disconnect. We have a world-class engine room, but no chassis to utilize that power. We completely shut down Manchester United midfield, forcing Casemiro and young Aiden Heaven into desperate defensive rearguard. But it didn't matter. Control without clinicality is possession for its sake. We are dominating the middle of the pitch, only to fall apart the second we hit the 18-yard box. It's a world-class foundation being built on a crumbling house. We're moving on to the last thing, and that is the emergence of Neto. In a season where we have been searching for any sign of life, the development of Neto has been a genuine silver lining since transitioning to the central defensive role. Under Liam Rosenior, he looked increasingly at home. He isn't just surviving at this level, he's improving every single week. He finished with a 6.9 rating, 6 defensive contribution, 2 tackles won, 4 clearance, 6 recoveries, 1 area duel won, 0 time dribble passed. That one stayed with me. 0 time dribble passed. In a game against Manchester United where our level of concentration were tested, Neto stood firm while others around him drifted. It's no surprise that the senior match reporters gave him a 7 out of 10, the highest of any Chelsea player on the pitch. We saw his maturity as early as the 25th minute when he made a crucial interception to deny Matheus Cunha a clear goal scoring opportunity. Even though he took a whack in the process, he didn't blink. He stayed out there and played with a level of confidence that belies his age. But it's his composure that really stands out. He was shown a yellow card in the 39th minute for a tactical foul, and for over 50 minutes, he had to walk in a tightrope against the fastest transition in the league. Most young defenders would have crumbled or hesitated. Neto, he stayed disciplined and maintained his technical proficiency until the final whistle. His movement on the ball is exactly what Liam Rosenior demands, a ball-playing centre-back who can initiate play from deep. While established names like Wesley Fofana struggled with lapses, it's telling that Fofana was off the pitch for treatment when United scored the winner. Neto has become a vital asset for his consistency alone. There's a strange trend happening right now. Our defense is actually outperforming our attack. Neto integration provides a blueprint for the modern Chelsea defense we are trying to build. And with that said, that's the end of the video, my friends. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. It go be.